Kristin, and I am really excited to bring to you my Makeup Use Up 2016 finale. This was a video idea or series idea that was started by Elle from Elle is for Living, which I will list below. If you do not follow her, please give her a look. And she, along with a whole bunch of other ladies, including myself, came together to kind of do a sort of use up your stash, use things that are in your collection sort of series throughout 2016. So way back then, on my little notebook that I have here, because I'm old school like that, that's how I started anyway. I picked different categories, things that I wanted to use up in those categories, and I've come to you with updates. I do have a playlist if you want to check it out from the very beginning. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Before I jump into the 2016 portion, there is a list of things that, as you know, if you guys have been around a little bit, you know that I have a use up project, that sort of thing going on. I've been doing that for several years. And the things that were left on that list before I started this was the Tarte, oh, I forgot to grab that, the Tarte Creaseless Concealer. I am still working through that. You can hear, because there's no way to tell, probably, that there's not much left in there. I don't know how, but I keep using this. I just use this on, you know, kind of marks on my face and that sort of thing, or blemishes or leftover blemishes, that kind of thing. The next product, wait for it. Ooh, as I drop it. Maybelline Color Tattoo and Bad to the Bronze. I feel if I could make some like Heaven and Angels sing while I was showing you that, hopefully I did. I am so happy to have used this up, not because I didn't like this. I loved this. I just wanted to use it up, and I will tell you, and along the way here, I'm going to kind of give these things that I've learned, things that, you know, I'm just going to give you little tidbits as I film this video. I'm not going to try to make this really short or anything, because I feel like there's good information here. So this taught me that I don't need to have every shade of Maybelline Color Tattoos. I'd stopped that a long time ago. I generally don't buy things that are limited edition at all anymore, because it's tricky to be able to use them on my channel. Not that this one was, but you know, they used to always come out with those, you know, different limited edition color tattoos. And I'm looking in my drawer. I still have way too many. I mean, I have way too many. I have condensed it down a little bit, but I really am very aware of the fact that I don't use these very much anymore. And I really don't use shade sticks, or, you know what I mean? Like the eyeshadow pencils either. So this sort of thing just makes you very aware of what you use and how fast it takes to use a product. All right, the next thing was the Pixi Endless Silky Eye Pens, and it was a set of 5, and I have worked through all 5 of them. The last 2 that were left were the one in Sage Gold and then the one in Champagne. I cannot sharpen them any longer, and I have used them up as much as I can. And what I use these for, and you know, I've mentioned this before, is I used them as bases to go through them, to put shadow over the top of it, or you know, I used it with the green one with the Mario palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills to really pull out more of the green in a particular shade. So if you're struggling to work through eyeshadow or through eyeliners, try using them as a base and you will get through them a little bit quicker. I'm gonna put this in the garbage. You couldn't hear them, but it was satisfying nonetheless. The last thing that I had on that list, and I will still continue to work through this, was the Too Faced Perfect Lip Pencil. I am a slacker with this. I don't know why. I pull it out and I'll use it for a couple of weeks and then it goes away, and it takes a long time to use it. It was missing for a while. It was under my Alex drawers, so there you go. I did not complete that, but that is okay. So of my old list of things that I have, the only things I've not completed was the concealer, and I will continue using that, and then that Perfect Lip Pencil. I'll put this over here. So let's move on to the 2016 goals that I set forth for myself. First thing was I wanted to work through 2 primers. I wanted to, then actually I'm going to put this list up here. I wanted to work through the Chanel LeBlanc primer and the Arbonne makeup primer. I did not, the Arbonne did not work for me, so I passed that along. But not only did I work through the Chanel LeBlanc, I also worked through a Biorderma Sensibio, and I worked through a Neutrogena, even cut it open, Healthy Skin Primer, which is one of my favorites. So I ended up working through 3 versus 2 primers, so I consider that a win and then some. I had 2 foundations that I wanted to work through, and I will tell you, one of the things that I've learned, you know, is that there are certain products in my collection that I'm okay with having a lot of, and some that I'm not. I used to be okay with tons of foundations, and now it kind of makes me feel uncomfortable. It probably sounds crazy, but I just don't want to have as many as I have, and I have kind of a project I'm going to work on that. We'll talk about that in another video. But primers and foundations are kind of that thing for me. I don't like having so many. But anyway, I finished up. This is completely empty. The L'Oreal Pro Glow. We'll talk more about that in a favorites video. But so I ended up using 3 instead of 2 foundations. Happy about that. So eyebrow pencils was the next on the list, and I wanted to complete 2. I ended up completing 4. The Catrice and the NYX Micro Brow, we've talked about those before, as well as the L'Oreal. And then the last one was the Benefit Goof Proof. It was a sample size, but I worked through it as nonetheless. So I worked through 4 of those versus 2. The next thing was concealers. I had said I wanted to work through 3 concealers. The Estee Lauder Double Wear, the Estee Lauder Perfectionist, and the MAC Pro Longwear. So where did I put that? The MAC Pro Longwear was a recent finish. I just finished this the other day. I have tried before to get this little thing off of here. I've watched videos. I cut myself very badly the last time I tried to do that, so I'm not going to do that anymore. I would like, it kind of drives me crazy that I can see how much is in there, but I cannot pump out anymore. And I had already worked through the Estee Lauder Double Wear. I love that concealer, really, really good. And then lastly, I worked through the concealer the Bourjois concealer, CC123 in light. And I did like that. I wouldn't purchase that again, but I did like that. So I did finish 3, which was my goal. I just did not get through the Estee Lauder Perfectionist. That is the one that I will be moving to now, most probably, but we will see. All right, I had 1 powder foundation that I wanted to get through, and that was the Smashbox Photo Filter, and I did that in one of my previous updates. The next thing, I kind of failed miserably at this, finishing powders. I just don't use finishing powders, so I've learned I don't need to buy anymore. They're just not my thing, because I go over my foundation with a powder foundation versus a powder, like a finishing powder. The only time I use any kind of finishing powder is under my eyes, and I use the By Terry for that. So I did use a good amount of this. I'm not sure quite how to show you. There's a good amount of that out of there. I'm going to pass this along to a friend who actually really likes this. Get that on my collection. I don't have very many loose powders left in my collection, which is a good thing because I just don't use them. And when I do use them, the one that's my favorite is the Chanel, and that's really the only one that I want to have for all over my face, and the By Terry for under my eyes. 2 eyeshadow primers. I wanted to use the MAC what is it called, Eye Base, and I used one of those up. That's what I'm using right now as well, because I had purchased another one, or somebody gave me one, I can't remember which. Anyway, I also used an Urban Decay primer potion all the way through, so I did complete that, and that just happened within the last, I don't know, say month or so, something like that. So I had said I wanted to hit pan on 2 blushes, and I did do that. No, this is not MAC, this is Cargo Tonga. And I did do that, and I know I've shown these in the past, but there are some people I think that maybe watch the first one and they'll watch this one and they don't care so much about the updates, so I thought I would show you. And then Tom Ford Frantic Pink. And I don't know going forward whether I will put a blush of any sort or hitting pan or something like that, excuse me, in this type of video. I do want to reduce the amount of blushes that I have in my collection, but I don't know that this is the way to do it. I think I just need to declutter. And what I found is I focused so much early in the year on hitting pan that I didn't use a ton of the blushes. I have a lot of blushes in my collection that I really like and love. And so I don't think I would put these in there. That's kind of the thing I learned on the blush sort of realm, that I want to use all of my blushes. I love blush. It's one of my, well, they're all my favorite things, right? But so that's what I wanted to say about blushes, that I'm happy I did it. I gave myself a goal and I hit it, and I did, very well. But when I was doing that, I didn't touch a lot of my other blushes that I really love. So anyway, moving on. The next thing was eyeshadows, and I wanted to hit pan on 2 eyeshadows. I had picked Maybelline Linen and Wet n Wild Nutty. So here's Wet n Wild Nutty. I did hit pan on that. I love this shade. In case you've never seen it before, let me show you. It's just a beautiful metallic taupe shade. Very, very pretty. And where's my towel? And then also Maybelline Linen. And I'll tell you what, I have really kind of fallen in love with linen. I've talked about this, I think, a few times here and there. And this is all that's left of it. I will continue to work through that. And what I love about it is that it's really not very pigmented. So what most people wouldn't like about it is what I love about it. It's perfect for me after I put on my primer, my eye primer, and then MAC Painterly Paint Pot is what that's what I use every single day, those two. To go, I take this and go over it with a fluffy brush to give me a nice, easy, a base to make for easy blending. I don't know that I have another shade in my collection that is as lightly pigmented as this is, so I may end up purchasing this again if I didn't. I'm just kind of sad that the thing broke, but you can tell this how old this is because this is the old packaging. So I completed my hitting pan and I have continued to use that, which I'm happy about. But again, I don't know that I would pick something eyeshadow wise to do it. I'm going to, again, work on, there's something, I'm still formulating what I'm going to do in 2016, but I just want to focus on using the things that are in my collection. And I know that there's the panning community, and that is great. I'm glad. I have no issues with panning things. I just feel like I need to find a better way to use all of my products in my collection. All right. I feel like I've kind of said that over and over again. The next thing was eyeliners. I had set a goal to use 2 blacks and a brown, or 2 browns and black. It didn't really matter to me. I ended up using up 7 eyeliners. I'm really happy about that. I don't think, aside from the ones that I purchased in April, which were these colored liners when I was in New York, I don't think I've purchased an eyeliner this year, with the exception of the Sephora Queen of the Nile, and I'm really happy I purchased that. But I just have done really well at trying to use up what I have. I have my blacks and browns kind of separated out from all of my colored liners because I have so many, and I will continue. That's going to continue in 2016 to keep working through the blacks and the browns. I have to have a good liner for my upper waterliner, kind of my tight line area. So that's the only eyeliner that I am purchasing. So like that Sephora Queen of the Nile I use for that, the Marc Jacobs Blacker, that sort of thing. So, the other liners that I have in my collection that don't stay so well up there, I'm using on my upper lash line. So I will go through the effort of using 2 separate liners just to use up the ones that I have. So currently, and actually let me grab it, the Tarte in Onyx I'm almost done with that one. That was on my list, so I did not complete that. But I have completed the Sephora Queen of the Nile, and I used another Marc Jacobs in Blacker. I actually should have put this in. There's a couple of these things I didn't put in my empties, and I just filmed my empties, so I'll have to save those for January. But at any rate, I feel really, really good about that. The other ones that I had used up, I think I have them on here, is the Pixi Black Cocoa, and then the Pixi one in black, which was also called Onyx, I believe. The Avon Glimmer Stick in brown chocolate, the Sleek Ooh La La liner in noir, and the Makeup Forever eyeliner in 2L. No, that's not true. Oh, I totally lied. I used up 6 liners. I counted that as completed, and it wasn't. So 6, I take it back. And I am still working, that's the brown that I'm working on right now, the Makeup Forever 2L. So look, I was all proud of myself with 7, but that's okay. 6 is still good. It's double what I wanted to do. At any rate, that is where we are at with the eyeliner. Right, the next thing was 3 lipstick minis. I wanted to use up NARS Perkugian, which I did. Marc Jacobs Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which I did. And NARS New Lover, which was like a sample one. I used that up. I did add in Buxom Dolly last time. I did not finish that. I don't even think I made very much progress. But that is okay. I had already hit my goal, and I think I was just kind of ready to move on. And then lastly, of things I still had to talk about was bronzers. I had wanted to use up 2 bronzers. The MAC Aphrodite Shell, which I did. There's still little pieces falling out of this. I did use that up. We talked about that previously. I can now go ahead and throw this out, which feels good. And then lastly was the Mary Kay bronzer. And I have made really good progress on this. It took me almost the entire year to use up that MAC when it lasted forever. And I can't even remember when I switched over to this. Just this last quarter for sure, not any time before that. But at any rate, I've made really good progress, and I'm going to continue to use this. So while I did not complete 2 of them, I feel like I made good progress. And 2 normal bronzers, you probably could have made it through. But I will tell you, one of the things I learned about bronzer, and I think that this maybe is my last little thing that I learned. Hopefully you guys don't mind me sharing those things with you, but I learned that I don't care about a bronzer. I mean, I like a bronzer, and I really like this Mary Kay one actually, and I like the MAC After I Shell, but as long as it works for me, I don't have a burning desire to go buy another bronzer. So that's another thing I want to kind of go through my collection, clean up, see what I have in, what I have in there yet, what I don't have, for bronzers, and just kind of get it down to a reasonable number that I can work through. But I would be just as happy probably to keep repurchasing this Mary Kay one. Right now anyway. I don't know, I haven't worked through some of my other ones, but there are some people that just love, I have this piece of hair that's like driving me crazy. My apologies. There are some people that just really love bronzers, and they can't wait to get their hands on the next one. And that's just, I don't know, that's just not me. So I have learned of all the things I've talked about. It's been reinforced to me even more so that just because everybody else loves something does not mean that I'm going to love it and that I have to have it. I'm really trying to evaluate products that I buy more so than I used to. I'm never going to go on a no-buy. That's just not what I'm going to do. I certainly am making better educated choices when I'm purchasing things for the most part. If I can, I will try to get samples, but I do live in the land of there's nothing around here. So I don't know. This has been a really good challenge. I want to thank Elle again for including me, asking me to be part of this. I really enjoyed it. I am going to do something in 2016. I am thinking about a couple of different things. One of the things that's kind of rolling around in my head is that I pick out, maybe 10 blushes to use through the month, and if I don't love a blush, then it gets set aside to either sell or give away or whatever, but out of my collection. And do the same thing with maybe some eyeshadow singles and a couple palettes, that sort of thing. Face products I still want to continue to work through. Primers, foundations, concealers, those sort of things. I'm still going to try to work through those. And my personality, the way that I am, I enjoy doing something like picking this foundation and I'm going to use it till it's gone. I like trying other foundations, and then when I'm done with it, I enjoy a short period of time where I'm trying some and that sort of thing. And I don't mind taking off 2 or 3 weeks to try a new foundation and then reviewing it, because I do enjoy reviewing foundations and I like trying new ones. But there's something about using a product from beginning to end and then, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I hope you guys don't think that I'm crazy. So I know this is probably a little bit longer than I intended it to be, but I really wanted to talk through some of those things. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys did this 2016 project and you don't make videos, let me know. If you do make videos, send that to me in a link, and I will do my best to try to come and watch it when life kind of calms down a little bit here. But again, I really enjoyed being part of this. It was a really good learning experience. I took a lot of things from it. So there was other skincare, by the way, that I used. I'll make sure that's listed below, but at any rate, drink. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you're having a great day. Here's to an amazing 2017, a healthy 2017, and in everything that you do, be beautiful. Bye.